Predictably, Hasan just gave one of the worst responses possible for his damage control regarding the incident that occurred yesterday when he was in Tiananmen Square over in China during his visit, and he got questioned by the police who were looking into what may have been an offensive meme about Chairman Mao on his phone. Hasan Piker went on to defend the police in China, this coming from someone who routinely says ACAB about police, but if it's in China, well, he apparently loves the cops, and he'll glaze them and defend them as much as he possibly can. It's obviously very hypocritical, and yet another contradiction in his nonsensical rhetoric. And so if you missed yesterday's video, definitely consider checking it out, because it's pretty dang hilarious how much of a hypocrite this guy is. And of course, many people on the internet began to criticize him for what happened yesterday. And now today, we've, as mentioned, got his desperate damage control.
The reality of the matter is, okay, like briefly being questioned by a cop outside of Tiananmen Square is, you know, it's a unique moment of stress. It happens, right? But like, what is so insane to me is that, like, I'm a person who has had altercations with American police. I'm a person who's had altercations with police in European capitals. You know, I've interacted with cops all around the world. I've gone to protests. I've been tear gassed. I've been pepper sprayed. I've been, I've been stun grenaded. Like, a stun grenade exploded in my head, like near my head, me and March's head, when we were in Los Angeles in my own fucking backyard. And it's so crazy that that brief interaction of a bunch of one young Chinese cop slash soldier. I don't know if he was a cop or if he was a soldier or not, like showing up to be like, what the fuck's on your phone? And like having like a 1 minute altercation has been blown up into this much more significant thing. Like, I've been detained by my own country, man. Like, I've been detained by my own country, my own country's Customs and Border Protection and Customs and Border Patrol. And we're talking about like a cop coming up and being a little aggro. First and foremost, here's the thing. Okay? First things first. What does he say? Hasan Piker declares, I don't have any patriotism for America while streaming from Tiananmen Square. No, I said I don't have any patriotism in general, which is why I don't like I find it fascinating that the Chinese people do. That was my point.
So first of all, Hasan's comparison with the cops stopping him over the offensive meme in China versus how cops have treated him in other countries during actual protests is absurd. For this comparison to work, he would need to go to a protest or a riot in China and then compare how the police operate there versus other countries, because the comparison that he's making is apples and oranges. For example, a few months ago in August 2025, there were protests in China over a school bullying incident where many people felt that the bullies were protected by local government officials. Thousands of people then protested outside City Hall. Some of the protesters were beaten, pepper sprayed, and arrested. Now, of course, this stuff happens in other countries too, but Hasan is acting like this sort of thing would never happen in China. And again, he made a very bad comparison. Moving on from that, we've actually got a clip from one of Hasan's biggest glazers, that being Idubbbz. And Idubbbz made the news in this post titled, Failed Boxer Takes Issue with Calling Fentanyl Poison, says it's not unique. When you hate Trump so much, you try to defend fentanyl. I mean, this is just absolutely crazy. Whatever you think about Trump, bro, why would you ever try to water down how bad fentanyl is? I mean, this is just such a freaking weird thing to do, man. Hasan and his glazers and his viewers, like, they just say some of the craziest things. It's really something else.
Try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence.
They're not like he's like, I know the trick. He's really trying to make it sound like you poison our people. It's like, yeah, when it's framed as if it's poison, it's like, oh, okay. You know, there's a lot of Americans who are like, oh, he's protecting me. He's protecting me. What a strong alpha brave defender of Americans. But then when you realize that he's just describing drugs, like obviously fentanyl is killing people, but it's not like uniquely distributed from people off the coast of Venezuela. I think a lot of them are also just in the Caribbean as well. The whole thing is fucking bad. But yeah, you frame it as poison instead of drugs, and it's like, okay, wouldn't want to be poisoned. And they're doing all these like bullshit projections as well. They're like, oh yeah, for every drug boat blown up, that's saving 50,000 American lives. It's like, shut the fuck up. Painkillers in hospital, yes, exactly. Painkillers in hospital equals medicine. Painkillers out of hospital equals poison.
You really gotta love how hard he's trying to sound smart there at the end. And it's like, dude, you are like actually watering down how bad this issue with fentanyl is. I live in Los Angeles, and I see these problems firsthand. As a matter of fact, literally yesterday, I was at the park training Muay Thai with a good friend of mine, doing pad work. And normally I train inside the gym, but here in LA, we've got a rare rainy season coming up. I mean, not like a season, but we have like apparently a week's worth of rain coming. And so I was like, I'll go outside and train while we still got some sun. And there were these two full-on like gangster dudes that started watching me do pad work with my good friend. And they had some like questions. They're like, yo, we don't train, but we street fight. And they start asking me for advice. But the point I'm getting at is these guys then went back to their car and started, I'm not kidding you, they were like huffing helium. They were smoking weed and huffing helium. But the reason I bring this up is because I turned to my friend and he was like, isn't that crazy? And I was like, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but at least they're not doing fentanyl, because it is extremely, like, it's an extremely major issue right now in our country, especially urban areas like Los Angeles over here. And a lot of people that end up overdosing from fentanyl don't even know that they're getting it, because the drugs that they want to get are actually cut with it, hence poisoning our people, right? It's not some conspiracy theory, bruh. It is a bad thing that should be condemned, whether you like Trump or hate the guy. You should absolutely condemn fully fentanyl and how bad it is. Now, there's another reason in particular that I bring up Idubbbz right now, but we'll get to that in a quick second. Here's a quick side note about the pad work yesterday. My friend, man, he loves, for some reason, doubling and tripling up on right crosses. I don't know why. It'll be like 3 right crosses in a row. And I love right crosses. You know, it's one of my favorite techniques, even though it's just a very basic one. But freaking skinned my knuckle yesterday. Look at that. That's through full hand wraps and the gloves. But sometimes I just overdo it on the pads a little bit, especially when I got to do like combos that involve 2 and 3 right crosses in a row. And yeah, I'm flexing right now a little bit. I'm not going to deny that, but whatever. I barely talk about my training. So, you know, a 30-second part here at the end of the video. It is what it is. Returning to the main point though, I mentioned that there was a specific reason that I also wanted to make this portion of the video about Idubbbz, and that's because I realized something. If you saw yesterday's video about Hasan, you will probably recall that when he was talking about the Tiananmen Square thing that happened, about the offensive meme, or, you know, what may have been an offensive meme, oh no, he started saying that he was a white guy. Or actually, I think the specific quote was, he referred to himself as a swag white boy. A swag white boy, which was just such a cringe thing to say. But it was interesting that he was referring to himself as white all of a sudden, and Idubbbz, as a matter of fact, had referred to himself as the white Hasan. So, in conclusion, I guess Idubbbz, man, you got betrayed. You're out of business. You are no longer the white Hasan, because Hasan is now identified as white Hasan. And I just wanted to mention that really quick because that was kind of funny. Anyways, that'll do it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in. As always, appreciate you. I'll see you in the comments and in the next one.